Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's Nadine and I am back with another video. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make my whipped body butter at home from scratch with just a few ingredients. It's amazing, especially if you're like me and you struggle with eczema and hyperpigmentation and scarring. This will help you out so much. I really wanted to share my little recipe with you guys. We're about to hop right into the video. Don't forget to subscribe and keep on watching if you're interested. So first things first, I'm going to be starting off with my butters. I'm going to be using 100% natural African shea butter. And I'm also going to be using 100% natural kokum butter. I'm going to start off with adding my kokum butter. This is about half a cup of the butter, and I liked this one because it's a bit more of a firmer consistency than the shea butter, so I feel like it kind of helps to balance out the texture. And then I'm going to go in with 2 cups of my shea butter. I added 2 of these little containers here. And the shea butter is super soft. It helps with elasticity of the skin, helps with scarring, rashes, blemishes, and hyperpigmentation, and also helps a lot with stretch marks and just overall well-being and health of the skin. So I grabbed some hot water and I just put it on the stove to heat it up. And then I'm gonna take my bowl that I placed my butters in, and I'm just gonna place it right on top of the pot. That way it's not like in direct contact with the heat. So it's gonna melt down my butters without really stripping its nutrients or its benefits. So I'm just gonna go ahead and melt down my butters until they're completely melted and it's completely liquid. So now that my butters are nice and melted, I just took it off the pot and I just went ahead and grabbed some aluminum foil and just covered it up to prepare to go into the freezer. I'm gonna go ahead, place it into the freezer for about 20 minutes, and you wanna leave it in long enough to firm up a little bit, but you don't want it to completely solidify. Once I took it out of the freezer, this is what it was looking like. Very easy to work with, and it's also very easy to blend. You don't want it to get too solid. You want it to be right in between. So once I got my desired consistency after keeping it in the freezer, I just went ahead and started to whip the mixture together. Now, the more you whip it, the thicker it's gonna get, or the more fluffy it's gonna get, because more air is gonna get into it, which is pretty much the whole purpose of whipped body butter. I personally like a pretty fluffy consistency. So I'm just gonna go ahead and whip everything together. And as I continue to whip it, you're gonna notice that my mixture is starting to rise and the consistency is just gonna get a little more fluffy. The texture is completely up to you. You can make it as fluffy or as thin as you like. It all depends on how much you whisk it, and it's really all up to your personal preference. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, whip everything together until I get to my desired consistency, and then we're gonna go ahead and add our oils. So for oils, I'm gonna start off with my sweet almond oil, and I'm gonna go in with half a cup of this. And I really like using this because it reduces the buildup of excessive oils on the skin, so it helps to combat acne, and it also helps to reduce the appearance of fine lines, so it keeps your skin looking very youthful. Then I'm gonna follow up with my papaya seed oil, and I really like to use this as well because it has a lot of vitamin C, so it helps to combat imperfections from sun damage, large pores, dark spots, and blemishes. So this helps a lot with scarring. So now that I've added all of my oil, I'm gonna go ahead and get back to whipping everything together until I get to my desired consistency. So you're gonna see, like, when I first start whipping everything together with the oil, the consistency looks pretty thin, but the more you blend it, the more the consistency starts to come together and it starts to rise and get a lot more fluffy. So I'm just gonna keep on whipping everything together and you guys are gonna see the consistency change, and I feel like that's my favorite part. I find this so satisfying. So this is how I know my body butter is ready. This is what I like for it to look like. Once it gets like this, I go ahead and I grab my scents. I'm gonna be using essential oils, lavender and eucalyptus, and I'm just gonna add a couple drops to my mixture. You can add as much or as little as you want, depending on how strong you want the smell to be. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, add my scent. And now I'm gonna follow up with my arrowroot powder, and this just helps to reduce the excessive greasiness from the oils and the butter. So you still get that nice moisturizing feel, but it's not gonna be like a sticky, excessively greasy type of texture, you know? So I just go ahead and I add 2 tablespoons, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and whip that together. So I'm just gonna grab a big Ziploc bag, and I'm just gonna use this to put my mixture into the Ziploc bag so that we can pipe up our body butter into the container. So pretty much here, I'm just gonna fill up the Ziploc bag with all of the body butter. So here you can see that I'm just milking the bag just to get all of the body butter down, because I don't want to leave anything behind. I want to get as much of it out as possible. And then I just went ahead and opened up the bag to remove like any excess air, just to prepare to pipe it into our containers. So I just went ahead and grabbed a scissor, and I'm gonna squeeze my mixture and just all of my body butter into my containers. I had enough for 1 big jar and 2 little jars. So I'm just gonna go ahead and pretty much just put everything together. So as you can see, when it's immediately put into the jar, the texture is a bit runny, but once you leave it to sit for about an hour, it does solidify. But what I love about this is that even though it is solidified, it is still very soft to the touch. As you can see, when I go in to grab some of the product, it is so soft, it's easy to grab, it's easy to apply, it's not hard, it's not crumbly, and that's how you know you have the perfect balance of butters to oils. It's nice and soft, smooth, easy to apply, and very nourishing. I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. Let me know if you try it out. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.